So this week is probably going to be the biggest week in the stock market for a lot of you individual stock pickers. It's a mega week. There's a lot of companies, at least one company that you will own that's reporting earnings, and today we're going to talk about some of these companies. I cover a few. I know a few of you guys like it when I do a video like this and I cover quite a few stocks in a couple of seconds and mention them and my thoughts on them. So yeah, we'll take a look at these companies that are reporting earnings, and like I said, it's absolutely mega week, and especially following on from Netflix. Netflix reported earnings last week. When it reported earnings, obviously awful earnings, and there's going to be a lot of eyes on these earnings and seeing how they're doing, what numbers come out, especially with a lot of the big tech as well. And Netflix was such a surprise last week. It was one of those stocks that has been beaten down a huge amount, and then boom, you think it can't get any worse, and they bring them numbers out and you're like, oh, this is, it's quite scary. These are really troubling numbers. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of eyes on these companies reporting earnings next week. So let's take a look at them. I mean, first of all, Monday, not any companies that I personally own. I probably keep an eye on Coca-Cola. For me, as fantastic as the company is, it's just a little bit of a higher valuation. When you compare, I think on the P ratio, Coca-Cola currently trades higher than Meta, for example. Yeah, I mean, it's a great company, but it's one of those that at the moment, if you pay dividend, everyone loves you. If you don't pay a dividend, you are currently not liked in the stock market. That's currently what's going on right now. And what does Coca-Cola do? It pays a dividend. So obviously that's why it's doing a lot better than the likes of a Meta, for example. But Activision Blizzard as well, I'll keep an eye on that one just because obviously that's a bit of obviously there's rumours potentially of them getting bought out at the moment, or they're trying to get, I think I'm not up to date exactly what's going on, but I think they kind of worried that Microsoft and Monopoly, I believe, or something like that, and that's what they're kind of reviewing, if they can allow the purchase or not. But it's a good one to keep an eye on because of the gaming sector, and I have quite a few gaming related stocks in my portfolio, so I will check it out. Probably one that I should have bought actually when it did dip a while ago, but hey. But those are probably the two on the Monday that I'm interested in. Whirlpool, yeah, not too interested in that one. Same for, a lot of the other ones I'm not too interested in them. But Tuesday is definitely when it starts getting interesting. UPS is a great one for the economy. See how much the e-commerce is going, sales are going, transactions. That's always a really good one to keep an eye on. So UPS is definitely a key one. GE, PepsiCo, I do like PepsiCo as well. 3M, that's another quality dividend stock. Raytheon, JetBlue, Waste Management. If you ever want a boring but very safe dividend company, Waste Management is the one. I've said that quite a few times on this channel before, and as well as that, because like I just said a few minutes ago, if you pay a dividend, you are loved at the moment. If you don't pay a dividend, you hate it at the moment. What does Waste Management do? It has a good track record of paying a dividend, and that one is actually really much in favour right now for sure. Now, Tuesday after close, this is where it starts getting to the big time. First of all, Microsoft's going to be very interesting because it's held up quite well. It's one of the stocks that have been holding that S&P Nasdaq up quite a bit because it's been holding its value. Thing is, it still trades at, I would say, a little bit of a rich valuation. I would say Microsoft, not terrible, but I'd say a little bit rich. So that one definitely has some way to fall potentially, depending on how strong the numbers are. You've got Alphabet, Google's going to be interesting. How much are people spending on advertising? So this is going to be a really key one to keep an eye on. Down at 21 times earnings, absolutely brutal day on Friday, down 4%. And look at that drop off, boom, absolute fall off the cliff for Google. And it's now getting to a place where Google has been flatlining for a while. So Google is definitely going to be one really interesting to be keeping an eye on. GM, Enphase, I know that's quite a popular growth stock, one that I've looked at and it just couldn't get over the line on it, but it is interesting. AAA, Skechers. So yeah, Tuesday is quite an interesting day. Definitely Visa. I think I didn't even mention Visa there. Obviously one that I own. That would be very good to see how payments are going at the moment. So yeah, these big three here will be very interesting to watch. Now Wednesday is the day. It is going to be a big one. So Boeing is one that I actually used to own. However, I was a bit worried about how management were doing coming out of the CV situation, and obviously the airline recovery wasn't happening as quick. But we are getting to a point now where Boeing has been downtrending for about a year, down 34%. And the thing is, what you're starting to see now is you're starting to see air travel start to recover. And if air travel is starting to recover, give it 12, 24 months, what they're going to start doing, a lot of them are going to be looking at Boeing and going, you know what, we could do some new planes. We started to make a good profit again. Let's start ordering planes from Boeing. Boeing starts doing very well again. And the thing is with a lot of these airlines is that, sure, they finally get back to profitability. They probably have a lot of debt to pay down, but they'll be thinking, that between them, there's only Boeing and Airbus that manufactures planes. So quite often the back order to get these planes can be quite a few years to get them. You put an order in, you won't get them for a few years. So they'll be thinking, we can jump the queue here. We can probably get a lot of these planes a lot quicker than what we could have done previously. A lot of them are going to be thinking about that as well. So that's actually quite an interesting one to play. Spotify, obviously, does it pay a dividend? No, so it's been absolutely killed off. So the same works for Boeing. Does Boeing pay a dividend? Not anymore, so it's been absolutely killed off. Spotify, don't pay a dividend, got killed off. And look at this, $110. This one is back at below prices when it came onto the stock market 4 years ago. And I was thinking, Spotify is a pretty solid platform. It's one of those that you just always want to have. I think it's such a great music platform, and one of those that you just don't want to use the free version. You always want to keep the paid version, and it's just such a useful app just to put on in your car, or hook it up to your Bluetooth speaker and put a playlist on. Such a solid business model, really. So yeah, I think this is definitely one to interest. If this was a stock that was at these sort of prices like 12 months ago, I'd probably be buying Spotify, but just because everything else has crashed so much, I guess I'm not really buying that one, I would say. So yeah, that's one to watch. T-Mobile, a couple of ones there that I know a few guys are interested in, not so much for me. Then after the close on Wednesday, now I've got quite a busy week. Monday's going to be a busy day, Tuesday's going to be a busy day, Wednesday's going to be a busy day. The next 3 days for me personally are going to be really busy days, where I'm probably going to be working from 7 a.m. and not going to be free until probably about 12 p.m. at night. It's going to be actually very tricky to record videos as well for the first 3 days of this week, so we'll see how I do. But I am kind of thinking, I have not done this for a long time, I'm kind of thinking potentially if I can, between maybe 8:45 and 9:15, if I can squeeze potentially a half an hour live stream, maybe not quarter to, maybe 5 to 9 UK time to about 20 past 9, potentially doing a live stream on this when these earnings are coming in. I've not done that for a very long time. I've not done a live stream. I only ever do live streams now on the Patreon, do live Q&As. I've not done any on the YouTube channel, like I said, for a long time. I used to do them for subscriber specials, like 8,000 subs, 9,000 subs. I've been stuck on like 12,500 for like 6 months now. It's just absolutely flat. This is what it's like, like when stocks were at all-time highs and like really rich valuations, everybody was interested in the stock market and coming onto YouTube wanting to get, information on stocks and which ones, to potentially be looking at and my thoughts on them. And now stocks are like at the lowest valuations they've ever been. They've been at valuations they were at like 4 or 5 years ago, and is currently now like the best time to be buying stocks. Like YouTube views and interest in content and stock market is at an incredible low right now, which is just absolutely bonkers. It's a bit weird to see, but hey, but yeah, I was going back to the point. I was thinking of maybe doing a bit of a live stream for 20, 25, 30 minutes, waiting for these earnings to come through. This is crazy. So we've got Facebook. I think Facebook is going to be one of the really interesting ones to watch. It's currently trading down at a value stock. I mean, it's cheaper than like Coca-Cola at the moment. It's crazy. People are looking at Facebook and going, was this a one-off quarter that was bad? Or is this going to be a terrible year that's bad? They gave a guidance of like 3% to 11%. And if Facebook come in that high percentage range and then start guiding really good numbers in Q2 and Q3, that stock price is going to move massive on Wednesday. If it's the other way around and it's negative, the stock is going to move the other way down. Netflix down. So that's my odds on Facebook. This is probably the really interesting one to be watching on Wednesday. And then PayPal, obviously PayPal's a position that I've started buying. Same again, people will be looking at that one. They'll be looking at is the horrible, quarter over quarter of the eBay revenue out of the way? Is Q3 now starting to look, Q2 starting to look pretty strong? That's going to be, that's a definitely one to be watching. Ford, Qualcomm, another one of mine. Pinterest, same again, we'll see how that one does. That'll be interesting on how they're doing with ramping up profit, revenue, user, how many users are still using the platform. T-Doc, another big one that's reporting earnings that I'd be interested in. So yeah, between me there, I've got 4 big companies reporting earnings on Wednesday. And then ServiceNow, Hertz, O'Reilly Auto Parts, yeah, some smaller mid-cap companies there that are reporting earnings. Thursday, I mean, Twitter. And shout out, I mean, look at, by the way, Pinterest. I mean, look how low this one is right now. Does it pay a dividend? Nope, boom, absolutely killed off. 30 times earnings. That one is set for a really good run, I believe, in the coming few months and years. T-Doc as well, I mean, $58 now. But Twitter, I mean, this is just going to be a question of what's Elon Musk up to. How many times do you think Elon Musk's going to be mentioned in that conference call? We'll see what happens. Not really one I'm interested in particular, but yeah, it's been one of the most talked about stocks at the moment. Caterpillar, Nokia, Southwest Airlines, MasterCard, McDonald's, some interesting ones there. And then Thursday after close, once again, very, very big ones here. You got Apple, once again, a bit like in Microsoft, it's held up pretty well. So will these guys carry on? These guys have been bringing out really strong numbers, and I think that's why the stock's been holding up very well. If they don't bring out strong numbers, is it now going to go down? Is it a rich valuation? If this goes down, what impact is that going to have on the SP 500? What's that going to have on NASDAQ? What's that going to have on a lot of other stocks? Because a lot of other stocks rely on Apple. Yeah, that is, once again, that's going to be moving the market big time when they come out reporting earnings. So that's one to watch to see if they still bring out really strong numbers or if people are spending less money with Apple. So yeah, I'll be checking that one out. So you got, once again, big one on Thursday with Apple. Amazon, once again, this has the potential to move quite a bit. It's not done anything for a while. It's flatlined for a good period of time. Last time, in my opinion, Amazon actually brought out terrible earnings. The stock actually did okay. It looked like it was saved because of the Rivian IPO, and it made the profit look a lot better than what it was. So this is probably one to, once again, look out and see how this one does. And that comes on the same day as Apple. Roku, I mean, are we going to get another Netflix with them? That would be interesting to see. Intel, a few people are looking at this one paying dividend, a bit of a turnaround play. And this is probably the only one that actually fits the trend of, does it pay a dividend? It does. It's done well. It actually hasn't. So, but yeah, this is probably one to watch as, I know a lot of, quite a few value investors are looking at this one as a bit of a turnaround play. So we'll see if the numbers get quite strong from Intel. Definitely one to be checking out. Robinhood, not really follow it too much. Atlassian, I know a few people like that one. I believe that's quite a popular growth stock. And then Friday, got a few other stocks here. AbbVie as well, that's a nice little dividend stock there. Bristol Myers Squibb, once again another popular dividend stock. So yeah, there's a lot of companies reporting earnings. You must have, if you're an individual stock picker, you must have one on this list. And yeah, there's some absolutely mental evenings. It's coming down to the period where I'll be spending a lot of evenings listening to the conference call, and I mean this Wednesday is absolutely crazy. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little preview going into next week. Crazy week, like I said. But yeah, hit the like button if you're new, subscribe, and I'll see you next week. I'm sure we'll be talking about a few of these stocks later in the week. So yeah, catch you then.